Hi, I'm Tanjina, and today we'll run one small experiment with Android Runner on Raspberry Pi device. So let's get started. First of all, I would like to give you a quick overview regarding the setup of Android Runner framework on Raspberry Pi device. As you can see, I have added one link. So the README file about the setup and all the dependencies already available in the respective GitHub page. So let's go there to quickly check it out. Right, here you go. As you can see, here we have all the detailed instruction and description about how you can set up your environment on the Raspberry Pi device. So you need to go through these instructions in order to set up the required dependency. As we'll use Raspberry Pi device as a headless computer, first we need to connect it from our own machine using SSH command. So let's do that first. Here you have to give the IP address of Raspberry Pi and the password as is specified in that page. I have set it as Android Runner as well. Here, so we are connected and accessing the Raspberry Pi device now. Let's clear the screen. Okay. And first thing, don't forget to check that your device is connected through ADV. It's perfect. And one important thing, since you are connecting your Raspberry Pi through SSH session, is that when you start an experiment using Android Runner over SSH, the problem is that if you close the SSH session, the process that you have started on the Raspberry Pi device during this session will stop as well. So in order to prevent that, we will use a TMUX, that is a terminal multiplexer. Through this, you can start a TMUX session over SSH, and then when you want, you can detach from the session and then reattach to this particular session again when you want to check. So if you scroll down here, you can find under tips and tricks all the information that I just mentioned. So let's start TMUX first. All right, as you can see here, you can see one ID, that is the name of this session. So later you can use this particular session number to reattach to that session again. All right, so now I will quickly run one small experiment. Okay, today I want to run some experiment on Batterystats profiler. So you have to go to the directory first where you have this plugin into Android Runner framework, then examples, then Batterystats profiler. Okay, and I will use web apps. So I need to edit the web config JSON file. All right. Okay. 2 repetitions is fine. Duration is 1 minute. I have changed that already from 2 minutes. I reduced it to 1 minute. And here, as you can see, you need to provide 2 paths, one for systress and another one power profiler path. And since I have run this experiment before, So the paths are already updated here, but based on your environment and setup, you need to change these specific paths. And let's try with another app also. Okay. All right, everything seems fine for now. Okay, let's save it. Now, in order to run this experiment, we need to start the virtual environment. So this is the directory where we have installed and set up virtual environment. It's called a VNV. So let's activate this first. All right. So what I have noticed before while running the experiment, so sometimes it often happens that maybe even though you installed all the required dependencies, but sometimes it fails to show you that like some specific Python module is available or not. So if that happens again, so make sure to install all the dependency just in case, but first check if you have them ready or not. Okay, these are the module that we have installed already, but just to be safe, I will install the requirement again. Just give this command. So I'm using the command to install all the required dependency in one single line, but if you miss one specific tool, then you can install that particular tool manually also. You don't need to give this command. All right, it says it's already exists, so we don't need to install it again. Perfect, we are good to go now. So let's get started with the experiment. For that, we have to go back to one directory before Android Runner. All right, let's clear the screen first. Now, let's run the command to execute the experiment on Android Runner. So it's an example, Batterystats and config with .json. Oh, I forgot to add Python. Right, it should work now. So as you can see, the experiment has started already. And now here is the interaction file. So later on, I want to use this interaction as a regex to show you some new feature. All right, let's stop it now. Okay, one thing I can also show you here. So if you want to reattach to detach from this session and let your experiment run, what you can do, you can press Ctrl B and D, then to detach from that particular session. So yes, let's move on now to our next segment. All right. So current version of Android Runner, it has 3 more new features now. So I hope you have already watched all the video tutorials from Eric. And let's see what we have as the additional features in our current Android Runner framework. So if you need to stop some experiments prematurely, it may be handy to stop the run prematurely when a specific event is triggered. For that, the new Android Runner has introduced one particular option. It's called run stopping condition that you can use if you want to stop one experiment prematurely. For example, it may be handy when you want to measure the energy consumption of loading web pages. So in that case, all you need to do is to stop the run when the web page is loaded. So right now, it currently supports the following 3 events. So one is a regex in the logcat that is matched. So during the run, like Android Runner will continuously check whether regex specified by the user is matched in the logcat of the device. And if this is the case, the run will be stopped. And let me show you the details about this option. It's also available in the README file. If you go to the Android Runner directory in the GitHub page, so just scroll it down a little bit here. So as you can see, all you need to do is to use this option in your config JSON file, and here under expression, you have to provide the regular expressions that you would like to check in the logcat so that you can stop your experiment when you find this expression in the logcat of the device. Right. And the second one is the reception of HTTP post request. So during each run, Android Runner will start a local web server which expects an HTTP post request. When HTTP post request is received, the current run will be stopped and the payload of that particular request is going to be set to a file. So if we go back to the README file again, so here you can see this condition. So you can leave it as empty. So by default, this is optional, so you can specify your own port number. But if you leave it empty by default, the local web server will be started on port 8000. And there are some tips and tricks also for this particular option if you want to use. So here, as you can see, if you want to use HTTP post request to stop one particular run, so here are the scripts that you can use in order to do so. So based on your setup and your server, you need to adjust the IP. So this one is handy when you have the websites hosted by yourself in your experimental environment. So this works fine. But when you want to run some experiments on the real websites, then you need to use one proxy like Metem proxy. So for that, there is also another separate scripts available. So, but before that, since it's depends on Metem proxy 7, and you can only install it from the source. So please see the instruction and install all the dependencies and setup. Make sure that the setup is complete. So then you can use this script to send a HTTP post request on your experiment. And third option is a direct call of the stop function on an experiment instance. So when during a run, the stop function is called, the run will be stopped prematurely. This can be useful in the interaction scripts when the user wants to stop the run if certain conditions hold. For example, if you want to stop the run when a specific app is being installed on your device, then you can use this particular command to stop it. So if we go back to the README file again, so here, as you can see, this option will take function as parameter value, and then all you need to do, like there is also an example given. So if a certain app is installed and then you want to stop it, then this script will allow you to stop it prematurely. So if you add this in your config.json file. All right, and this second feature is called USB handler. So this enables the Android runner framework to disable the USB connection during each run while it is still profiling, and enables it after the run. So this way, this allows the devices to charge in between the runs. So using this feature, users can, to use these features, user can utilize this function by first connecting the device over Wi-Fi to ADB, and then they need to provide the commands used to enable and disable the USB ports to the USB handler field in the Android runner configuration.json file. So here, if we go back here, as you can see, all you need to do is to use this condition and the values in your config.json file to use this feature. But there are some limitations. So as of now, this feature is only supported on the compatible devices with you have CTL library. The list is already given in GitHub repository as well. So even though some devices are fully compatible with this particular library, but there are some devices which can only support it partially. For example, Raspberry Pi 4P does not support per port power switching. So it either will activate like all ports or deactivate all ports. So this is kind of a limitation of the Raspberry Pi hardware design. And it might be a problem when other peripherals such as USB stick are connected with Raspberry Pi. So yeah, so a possible workaround is to use the supported USB hub as mentioned in that GitHub directory. So you can refer to that particular page to find the right USB hub. And the third feature that is new to Android Runner is the integration of Perfetto plugin. It's a relatively new tool in the Android ecosystem, but there are some limitations as well. But it allows the user to collect system-wide performance traces from Android devices from a variety of data sources such as CPU, memory, and power consumption, etc. So, but this plugin you can only run when your device is running an on Android 9 and higher. So it's not really suited for measuring the energy consumption due to these devices, but since it works only a small number of phones, so for that, we would like to suggest you focusing on also Trapen battery status and main CPU if you want to measure the energy consumption of your devices and apps. But well, so if you want to use Perfetto in practice, the user would first need to create a Perfetto configuration file, and they need to also specify the data sources to trace and in which buffers the gathered data should be written. Besides this, like the other configuration file that I showed before when I run the Batterystats profiler, so all you need to do is to specify the path to Perfetto trace configuration file in that and runner config file, and also the format of these files. So the details is also can be found here. So if we go back to Perfetto, here you can find the detailed instructions about this plugin. Since my device is running on Android 8, so I can't like do some experiment using this plugin for now. All right, so let's go back to here. So today I would like to show you how we can stop one experiment prematurely using one of these options. So let's check this out. First I need to reattach to the session. Okay, so for that I need to give this command. Still, the session name is 3. Okay, let's stop this one for now. Oh, it has stopped already. Let's go to the example directory where my profiler is. So it's in Android runner example Batterystat. And then all I need to do is to make some changes in the config wave.json file. So open that particular file again. Yes, here we are. So I need to add the condition to stop the run prematurely. So let's copy that first. Okay, here you can find this. Okay, as I mentioned before, I want to stop it when I will find one text, let's say, called interaction. So all you need to do here, you have to give one regular expression, but to make it faster, I'm just writing down the entire text for now. So whenever it will find this in the logcat, it will stop executing that particular experiment. Right. Oh, I forgot to add the comma at the end. Right, it should work now. Okay, let's make it a bit faster. Let's remove the second app. Okay, save it. All right. Now we have to go back to external memory directory again, and let's clear this first and run the command for the experiment. Sudo Python 3 and with runner, and then the path to the config.json file that you want to run the experiment on. So it was Batterystats config web.json, right? Let's see. So it should stop before executing any kind of interaction now. Okay, as you can see, so it says run was prematurely stopped by the matching of regular expression. That's why it stopped the run immediately. So yeah, this way you can, if you want or if you need for your particular experiment, you can stop it whenever you want. So let's close it for now. All right, that's it. Let's exit this session. Okay, that's all for today. So I hope you can utilize some of the new features in your own experiment, depending on your need. So good luck.